5 years ago, Irishman Gary Moore drove 37,000 kilometres from the southernmost tip of Africa all the way back to Ireland. With the thousands of photographs he'd taken along the way, Gary published a book, and all the proceeds went into children's education in Africa. Gary had always dreamt of a project that would capture the wealth of musical talent that is such a huge part of everyday life in Africa. This time, Gary is back in Kenya to try and make a Christmas CD. He has 12 weeks to find the very best singers and musicians that Kenya has to offer. If he can pull it off in time, the CD will be on the shelves in Ireland for Christmas, and all the proceeds will go to children's education in Kenya. Gary needed someone to drive the project in Kenya. When he met Mr Omondi, the choirmaster, he knew he'd found his man. Darrington Omondi's whole life revolves around music. By day, he's a music teacher at a local boys' school, and by night, he's the choirmaster at St Paul's. Gary was joined in Nairobi by Irish music producer Steve Lynch, and guided by Mr Omondi, the search for talent began. Their first port of call was a reform school for young female offenders on the outskirts of Nairobi.
Mr Omondi comes up here every week, a number of times a week, off his own bat, and gives the girls lessons. In terms of everybody that's involved in this CD, the girls in Kirigiti are the ones that are coming from the types of background that I want the funds to go back to. It's really great that they are part of the raw materials that's going to make this happen.
One thing I know.
Yeah, it's a good thing because many of the children here in Kenya are poor. Many don't get fees to go to school, and they end up being street children.
So, we start rolling?
So while the choir and the Kirigiti schoolgirls began rehearsals for the CD, Gary, Steve and Mr Omondi decided to hold auditions in Nairobi for 5 strong signature solo voices to carry the songs on the CD. Over 40 people auditioned over the 3 days, but in the end, 5 soloists were all picked from amongst the impromptu group who sang Drummer Boy as they waited to audition.
So, we made it. We've got our 5. It's great. They're really, really good. I think it's going to be really stunning.
Beautiful.
All the elements were in place, and rehearsals were now in full swing for the recording. But Mr Omondi had one last surprise visit for Gary and Steve. This was Gary's first visit to one of the schools built from the proceeds of his earlier book of photographs.
Which one is smaller? So, I'll take an example here.
It's fantastic to be able to get back out here and realise the benefits of it, why we're doing it, why everybody's come together, and it's been a massive, massive commitment on behalf of so many people.
Over half of all children in sub-Saharan Africa have no access to education. 2/3 of these are girls. It's a fact that just 3 years of primary education can change a child's whole life. Just 3 years schooling reduces the chances of that child contracting HIV/AIDS by half.
If for nothing else, it's remembering that I have given the option, or all the people who have involved and all the people who will buy the CD and all the people who've worked so hard to make this happen have given the option for a child to choose life by education. They have a future, literally.
Mr Omondi is at home preparing for the final recording session. This will be the last step in the making of the CD from his end.
I just pray that everything and hope
that everything will be the best. Everything will just be fine because we don't have time. It just has to be right.
And so, after months of hard work, hundreds of hours of rehearsals, and just 5 grueling days in the recording studio, the soloists, the Moipe sisters, the schoolgirls, the musicians, the choir, Maggie, Gary and Steve and Mr Omondi have managed to pull it all together, and the CD will be on the shelves in time for Christmas.